CPA versus enrolled agent. Which is the better career path for you? Well, the real question is, what kind of career are you trying to build? Because yes, both CPAs and enrolled agents work in tax, both can help clients, both can build strong, respected careers, and yes, both can make a lot of money, but they're extremely different and they open very different doors that lead to very different career paths. So how do you choose? Let's take a deeper look, compare them both, and discover which one makes more sense for you, your strengths, your lifestyle, and your goals. Let's start with the enrolled agent. An enrolled agent, or EA, is a federally authorized tax professional who can represent taxpayers before the IRS. The IRS describes EAs as having unlimited practice rights, meaning they're generally unrestricted in which taxpayers they can represent, what tax matters they can handle, and which IRS offices they can work with. So from a career perspective, the EA is a very focused credential. It's tax, tax, and more tax. EAs can prepare tax returns, help with tax planning, respond to IRS notices, represent clients in audits, work on collection issues, help with appeals, and guide people through tax problems that feel incredibly overwhelming. And honestly, that can be really meaningful work, especially when someone gets an IRS notice. They usually aren't calm and relaxed about it. They're stressed, they're confused, they may have ignored the problem for months because they didn't know what to do. An EA can step in and say, okay, here's what this means, here's what we need, and here's the plan. That's a very specific kind of value. Now let's talk about the CPA. A certified public accountant is a state licensed accounting professional. CPA requirements vary by state, but they generally involve education requirements, passing the CPA exam, work experience, and meeting state board rules. NASBA emphasizes that CPA licensing is handled through state boards, so candidates need to check their specific jurisdiction. The CPA path is broader, so CPAs can work in tax, but they can also work in audit, financial reporting, public accounting, corporate accounting, advisory, consulting, government, nonprofit finance, controllership, and leadership roles. The current CPA exam includes 3 core sections: Odd, FAR, and Reg, plus 1 discipline section chosen from BAR, ISC, or TCP. That structure reflects the broader accounting skill set CPAs are expected to build. So if the EA is a tax specialist credential, the CPA is more of a broad accounting license. That's the cleanest way to think about it. The EA says, I specialize in federal tax and IRS representation. The CPA says, I have broad accounting, reporting, audit, tax, and business knowledge. Now, from a career perspective, who should choose the EA? I look seriously at the EA if you already prepare tax returns, want to specialize in tax, want to work in IRS representation, or want a focused credential without going through the full CPA licensure process. The EA can be especially appealing if you don't want to go back and meet additional accounting education requirements, or if your career goals are clearly tax focused. For example, if your dream is to run a tax practice, help small business owners, represent clients before the IRS, or build a flexible tax career, the EA may be a very practical choice. And one thing I really like about the EA path is that it's direct. You don't need to pretend you want audit, financial reporting, or corporate accounting if what you actually want is tax. You can go straight toward the tax credential. Now, who should choose the CPA? I'd look seriously at the CPA if you want broader career flexibility. If you're interested in public accounting, audit, financial reporting, corporate accounting, consulting, controllership, or CFO track roles, the CPA is usually going to carry more weight. And even if you want to work in tax, the CPA can still be extremely valuable because of its recognition. A lot of employers, clients, and accounting firms understand the CPA instantly. It's widely recognized, and in many accounting career paths, it's treated as the gold standard credential. That doesn't mean it's automatically better for every person, but it does mean the CPA may give you more room to pivot. If you start in tax and later want to move into corporate accounting, audit, reporting, or finance leadership, the CPA may travel better across those lanes. Now, let's talk salary, because we should actually answer the question people are thinking. In general, CPAs tend to have a higher salary ceiling because the credential applies to a wider range of high-level roles: audit manager, tax manager, controller, finance director, partner, CFO, and consulting leadership. EAs can absolutely earn strong money too, especially if they specialize in complex tax issues, own a practice, serve business clients, or work in tax resolution. But the EA salary path is usually more tied to tax specialization. The CPA salary path can branch into more areas. So if your question is which one has the higher long-term earning ceiling, I generally give the edge to the CPA. But if your question is which one can help me build a focused tax career faster, the EA may be the better answer. That's the nuance. Now, should anyone get both? Yes, for the right person, the combination can make sense. If you're a CPA who wants to deepen your tax specialization, the EA can reinforce that tax-focused credibility. If you're an EA who later decides you want broader accounting opportunities, pursuing the CPA could open more doors. But don't collect credentials just because they look good. Get the credential that matches your next career move. If you're choosing between CPA and EA, ask yourself 5 questions. First, do I want to specialize in tax, or do I want broader accounting options? Second, do I want to represent clients before the IRS as a major part of my work? Third, am I willing and able to meet CPA education and state licensing requirements? Fourth, do the jobs I want ask for CPA, EA, or either? And fifth, do I want to work for a firm, build my own practice, move into corporate accounting, or stay client-facing in tax? Those answers matter more than internet arguments about which credential is better. Because better for what? Better for public accounting? Probably CPA. Better for audit? CPA. Better for IRS representation and tax resolution? EA is very strong. Better for corporate controllership or CFO track roles? Usually CPA. Better if you want a focused tax credential and don't want the broader CPA route? EA. At the end of the day, the CPA and EA can both be excellent career moves. The CPA gives you breadth, recognition, and flexibility across accounting and finance. The EA gives you focus, tax authority, and a direct path into IRS representation and tax problem solving. So don't pick based on pressure. Pick based on the work you actually want to do, the clients you want to serve, and the career you want to build. For more accounting career tips, tax certification breakdowns, and exam advice, don't forget to subscribe. We post every day.